Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It is Coach Candy here with Coffee Chats. A little bit of some technical difficulties this morning as my entire block is out of power right now. So I'm actually excited that I was able to get my makeup on it in the dark. Good morning, Herbie. Gonna add everybody in the bowl as you come on. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Paul. How's everybody doing? Good morning, Deborah. I know I saw your name from yesterday somewhere. There we go. So welcome everybody. Good morning, buenos dias. And I don't even have my coffee this morning because we have no power on my block. So I have to say there's sometimes you're really happy that you have certain disciplines and certain things you know how to do. Because I have to say my makeup doesn't look too bad considering I did it completely in the dark and with the flashlight on my phone because the power just went out, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago. So it's going to be, thank you. And good morning, Kathy. Where did I put your name? Because I'm grabbing everybody from yesterday. We've got more giveaways today. So things might look a little different. I'm on my iPad today, trying to make sure that still nothing's going to stop us from connecting and having our time together. So with power or not, gotta love backup. So we'll see how long my technology here works. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. So good to see everyone. Morning, y'all. I don't know, the rest of you in Austin, I don't know if you're experiencing a power outage too, but my block is off. Gas station next to me is off. The street lights are off. Everything is off. Mateo, do you have power on your building? I know you're in a different building than me in the same thing. Yvette. Good morning, everybody. There we go. I'm just grabbing everybody's names, throwing them in the bowl again so we can do some giveaways. But yes, feeling a little challenged this morning as working without power here. Don't have my normal lights set up, don't have my normal stuff going on. So you know what you make do? You always make do. Terry, where are you? There you are. Let's guide you into the bowl as well. Lots of rain. Ooh, Paul, we need rain. I hope some of that rain's coming down to Austin. We need some rain big time for sure. So bless you, Peyton. Oh, you're in Dallas. That's right. I completely forgot. I wonder if your power is off too at your place. Anyway, so it's been off for probably about 20 minutes or so. I'm glad it's in the morning because it's usually when I have the house opened up anyway. So at least it'll be a little cooler if they don't get this fixed soon, though. It's going to be unbearable because by about 11 o'clock it starts to pick up. And I'm running a mastermind out of my house today. So hopefully the power gets back on here soon. But good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome back for some more celebration on the week of 100. We are going to have some more fun today, and this is still open forum to ask questions, to dig in, share some ideas on topics you want to get into. I am very open to listening to some of the things y'all want to dig into more, what you want to have these mornings be about. This is really your space, and so want to make sure you're getting what you need. Also, I know Peggy, you had sent a question last night on the other feed, and so I want to make sure I address that as well. Oh, thank you, Herbie. Speaking in house, actually, redirection. I think my sister and I are going to start our investment business, and so I think we're looking to buy a duplex in the spring because both our leases are up at the same time, and so we're looking at starting to flip some property and get into that space because we both need another business to run. So we're going to get into a space where we can start doing some renovations, doing some flips, renting out property, and then eventually flipping them to condos. So I think we're going to shift gears, and that's where I'm going in terms of the house hunt right now. So right now, house hunt's a little on hold, and I think we will be getting that rocking and rolling the beginning of the year. Good morning, Preston. Good morning. Let me see. There's your name. All right. So further questions. The first question, I know Peggy's not on yet, but I'm going to address her question that she sent. The question that she sent last night was, what's the number one thing preventing you from self-care? And so I would say that for the most part, I'm really good with my self-care. It's taken me a long time to get in that space. You hit rock bottom enough times and something wakes up and is like, all right, it's time to take your life and put it back into your control and take personal power. And so I'm really diligent about my morning routine and my evening routine. Where that gets challenging for me sometimes is actually when I'm on the road too much. It's not, my discipline is really good when I'm on the road. It's when I come back. Because usually I'm exhausted, I need to recharge, I need to regroup, and it, depending on my travel schedule, sometimes that can really just kind of like mess me up. Get me in a space where I'm feeling off my game, off the grid, whatever. I feel like I'm really, there we go. Let's get a little higher so I'm a little higher up here and I can see you guys because the comments are kind of blocking everything, and I want to make sure that I can see you guys and I can be here and be present. And so for me, the self-care gets to be challenging sometimes when I am traveling and when I come back, or when I do big events and it's that recharge space. Good morning, Chris. Welcome. I'm going to add you into our trusty little bowl here as we are doing some giveaways and bonuses today. So let me make sure I add Chris in there. Welcome, my friend. And as you all know, we've got our trusty little raffle bowl going on here. So for me, that's pretty much when I get off the self-care, is when I have to reset from, good morning, Renee. I have to reset from traveling a lot or doing a lot of back-to-back events. So it's because of the recharge space, I actually need more self-care. Then to get back into my discipline and get back into the kind of swing of things gets a little bit tough. So Peggy, I hope that answered your question. That is the biggest reason. The other one is just plain procrastination. If it's something that I just feel like I want to power through something, sometimes that, like anybody else, I do that at the expense of my self-care. I've gotten much better at that over the course of the last 10 years. Like I said, you hit rock bottom enough and you get into a space where you're like, okay, enough's enough, right? So welcome everybody that's jumping on. We are continuing the celebration of our 100th episode, which happened yesterday. So today is 101. We are, this is kind of an open forum this week to ask questions, share ideas about topics, content, things you want to discuss on these calls, what you want me to dig into, as well as some insights maybe that you've experienced, you've experienced over the course of the 100 episodes, because I know some of you have been with me for almost everyone, as well as we're going to have a space to do some giveaways and some bonuses and just have some fun. So before I get into the first raffle, I'm just trying to find all my notes. For those of you that don't realize why I look a little off today, we have a complete power grid off in my neighborhood. It's been off for about 30 minutes now. So I am working off not my normal technology and my normal setup. So just trying to figure things out here this morning. And to Paul, your question yesterday, what keeps me motivated? Y'all keep me motivated to come back. So no power or not, here I am, right? So we're going to make that happen. So any questions, any other questions you guys want to ask? This is your opportunity to ask me any question you want, anything about stuff that we've dug into already, anything that you'd like to see moving forward, sharing any of your insights or, amazing like ahas over the last couple months that we've been here together. So just curious, any other questions? I want to make sure we have that open forum. Otherwise, we're going to get into a couple other play things. We're going to get into some of that random trivia again. And like I said, I'm going to do the some raffles and some drawings here. I've got some other things I want to make sure you can have access to. And going into the Labor Day weekend, I also have some specials and some opportunities for those of you that may not win in the raffle, or in the drawing. So any other questions, any other things that you want to know? I know you guys asked a ton of great questions yesterday. Some of them I was still thinking about as I got off our call and as I moved into my day. There were some really, really great questions, and so appreciate that. And while you all are coming up with maybe some potential questions, let me make sure I've got everybody who's on this call in the bucket. I believe so. I think I got everybody. All right, so I am going to see who is going to be our first winner for this morning. All right, so I am Herbie Harris. Let's see, I'm going to ask the question first. You have an amazing network of connections. Have you considered having a guest join you during a coffee chat? You know what, Herbie, I actually have. I'm trying to think about how I want and who I want to be on that show. As many of you know, I have a podcast as well. Right now, my podcast, the Powerhouse Podcast, has been put on hold. That was my space where I actually was doing more interviewing of some of the powerhouses in my network. I have gone back and forth on whether or not I want to have this space be that as well. So very open to thoughts about that. For some people, I know this is a crazy hour and it's kind of hard to wrangle people in for the 7:30 hour sometimes for an interview. It is something that I have considered for sure, especially when I have guests visiting me. It's some of you saw Dr. Tanisha with me when we were in Dallas together. It's a little bit easier when we can kind of play in that space. And yes, open to exploring that possibility. Also, just to let you guys know, while the Powerhouse Podcast is on a temporary hold, I am going to be revamping, rebranding, and launching that again in 2020. So we will be having a whole new kind of feel and space for the podcast as well. So stay tuned on both of those. Herbie, I'm going to definitely take note of that and continue to give that some consideration to see what might make sense and who we want to have on these shows. So I love that. It's a little bit difficult sometimes to have people live. Can't do any editing. Not that that's bad. And so it's just a matter of vetting out who to play in that space. So great question. Love that. And definitely going to explore that more for sure. Because it adds a little bit. And it might be that we do like a feature Friday where I feature one of my powerhouse players and we can bring somebody in once a week. So stay tuned because that's a space I want to dig into more. Yvette, what advice do you have for anyone who wants to leave corporate America asking for a friend? I have all kinds of advice. And so I'm going to give you kind of the short version, and then I think that's a question I'm going to bring back to some of our actual conversations in the morning, because I think there's several things to consider and think about. The first piece is wanting you, regardless of what you choose to do, whether it's leave corporate, whether it's start a business, whether it's take on another opportunity, whether it's move, whether it's get in a relationship, first and foremost, the opportunity is really to lean in and listen to your heart. What happens is we waste so much time waiting for all of the ducks to be in a row, all of the cards to be set, all of the details, all of the financials, all of everything. And what we don't realize is it's only when we take that leap that if it's something that speaks to us, if it's something that's in our heart, that we've got to trust that we're going to get what we need. And it's the opportunity to really be able to lean in and create the discipline. Oh, my power just came back on. Woohoo! Yay. So it's that space of really leaning into what you want most and really being able to listen to your heart. That being said, there's a lot more to that. And I think that fan feels good. I think that's an opportunity for us to dig into on a couple calls and get into Facebook Live. For me, it was more around really weighing the cost of staying in corporate and what it was doing to me mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. How I was feeling like there was a much bigger calling for me and how I felt like I was trapped in a box in that space. And so for me, the cost of staying became far too great versus the cost or the risk of stepping out on my own. And so that is one thing. One of those things, and we've talked about priorities before when we think about how do you prioritize whether or not something's the right space for you, whether it's, first of all, you look at the present value, you look at the future value, you look at the opportunity costs on both sides of the equation, you look at the potential ROI. The other thing for me that I realized in that space was if I could be this successful living someone else's dream, if I could be this successful being a high performer in a space that wasn't speaking really deeply and resonating with my heart, then how could I not be successful stepping out when I knew there was something that I wanted to create? I knew there was something I wanted to do. Now, there's a whole way to do that. And here's the thing, you don't have to do it all or nothing. I'm one of those that kind of pulls the tablecloth and sees what's set. You can do it as a staged plan. You could do it as a side hustle and a transition. For some people, that's too exhausting. And sometimes it's the space of, what kind of regret do you want to look back and have regret? And the thing is I've told myself, even if I failed at what I was doing here, at least I know in my heart that I put my best foot forward, that if I ever had to, and I'll tell you, I'm at the point now that I've been away from corporate so long, even though I do a lot of corporate trainings, that if this failed at some point where I had to throw the towel in, if I had to say, okay, this isn't working for me, I think I'd become a dog walker and a coffee barista, and I would take on side things, or I would create something new. I have an entrepreneurial spirit in my body, and I would create something else. I know how to build a business, and I would build something new, and I would go after something else, and there's so many ways you can reinvent yourself. And so I think about this space, and so I'm gonna make sure that we get into that space, because I know many of you are in some sort of life transition, and there's some strategies to think about when you're in transition. There's some strategies around how do you consider what's the right next move for you, and then there's the leap of faith, right? There's the stepping into whatever you believe in your faith and just taking a leap. Because the worst thing for me is to look back and say, what if I would have? If only I could have, what would have happened, right? And so I think this is a really good topic. In fact, I'm going to make sure I write this down. Transitioning from corporate or from anything else, just transitions in general. I want to write that down because I think that's a conversation we want to bring some more light to on these calls. Yvette, I thank you for posing the question for a friend. And I think there are several people on here that are feeling the same kind of thing. And so let's see, Herbie, I'm thinking the same for them, and they're chatting with you, to us, nothing too formal, just you two riffing. Absolutely. And Herbie, I can't see the rest of that because when I'm on my iPad, oh, there we go, just riffing off each other. Perfect. It doesn't always let me see all the comments. Carol, leaving corporate, couldn't keep making the shift of mindset anymore. Yeah, and for me, that was the same thing. It was costing me too much to stay in a fixed mindset, that I had too much that was building inside of me, that it became a knowing. And it was when I gave myself permission that it dropped in, and it dropped in beautifully. And then you just kind of like put one foot in front of the other, and get coaches, and you become part of masterminds, and you get assistance. And for me, I took money out of my retirement fund. I realized I was funding that, and I don't have kids, I don't have a family aside from Peyton. And for me, I was willing to take that bet on myself. Now, that is not the strategy for everybody. Like I said, we're going to bring that back and have some more conversation around that. Maybe Mateo stopping in, much like the guest who knocked on Mr. Rogers' door. Mateo, did you hear that? That would be hilarious. That would be awesome. Yeah, and I actually have quite a few people that could just stop in. And like I said, I have a lot of people that stay with me, whether they're doing my masterminds, they're doing events, or they're just coming to visit. So I do like that. I like that idea to be able to play with people. I love having that conversation and that being able to riff. And there are some really great people that riff very well. Some people don't do that well when they're on camera. Some people do that extremely well. So yes, Herbie, I think that's definitely, I will put that down as well. Guess to riff with. Guess to riff with. I love Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So, you're speaking my heart when you put something out there for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. We could definitely do that. That would actually be kind of fun. I keep saying we need to have more Mr. Rogers in the world, so why not, right? Herbie, great suggestion. So, Yvette, I hope that gives you a little bit of food for thought in that space. Like I said, we're going to bring more of that. We're going to talk about transition. Maybe what we'll do is we'll spend some time next week talking about different types of transitions. See, this is, Paul, you ask how things drop in. It's conversations like these. It's when I hear a need for something and there's an opportunity to respond, that then I can say, okay, then let's get into this because I think there is something here. And so I think the space, whether it's relationship transitions, I know several people right now that are in the throes of either leaving a marriage, leaving a relationship, getting into a new relationship. So there's transition to talk about there. There's transition to talk about. I'm in the middle of a transition. I'm in the middle of rebranding and changing some things in my business. So there's always things to consider inside of that. And then, yes, there's always the corporate question as well. How do we work inside of that? So Deborah, that's a good question. I've considered going back into a higher pressure job and I realize I like where I am. Yeah, for me, that's something that's an absolute. I won't go back to that high pressure, kill myself, sell my soul for somebody else at the expense of my health and my wellness. That's why I said if it ever came to a point where I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to do this anymore, I'd either create something else or I might do like a handful of jobs and just go enjoy my life. Especially because by that point I'll have enough leveraged income and residual income, especially with what my sister and I are doing with investment properties and other things. And so that's the other option is there's ways to create passive residual or what's known as leveraged income for yourself that creates a whole different equation. And so we can talk about that. I will bring some conversation around opening up access to create leveraged income. Let me put that on here too, because the more you know about leveraged income, which is not your job. Leveraged income is residual and passive income, and it's money that works for you, residual, money that works for you when you're not there, and it's what's known as creating the golden goose that lays the golden eggs. You just don't kill the golden goose, right? So these are some good things coming up in the conversation. Yvette, yes, would love to cover this more. Major transition change, absolutely. My friend thanks you. You are so welcome. Tell your friend thank you. That is so funny. Major change, transition, because I think those are two separate spaces. Okay, I'm just writing these down because this gives me some things to think about. Good morning, Tina. I don't think I have you in the bucket yet. Some of you jumping on right now. Tanisha, good morning. Yay, some more people to put in the bowl because I've got some giveaways. All right, we're going to do the first giveaway here in just a moment. Yes, transitions. Okay, looks like we got some good topics that you guys want to dig into moving forward because, you know, we got another 100 episodes to do. And so as much as I have topics that I could speak about all day long, want to make sure that we have some topics that really speak to you as well. So, all right. Anybody else that's watching right now that wants to get in, make sure your name's in the bucket. Do I have everybody in there? I think I have everybody who's on the call in the bowl. Because again, must be present on the call to win. And so I am going to do the first drawing. Dun, dun, dun. So drum roll. And swish around. So let me see. Okay, I am just going to pick a random name. So the winner of the first giveaway this morning is Martha. Woo! Yay, Martha. There we go. And I'm a little backwards today. Again, we had a power outage here in my house. So Martha, you are going to get, my friend, you are going to get a copy of Eat the Frog and a copy of my children's book, Dreamstar. So what I need you to do is private message me your mailing address so that I can get these out to you, my friend. But you are the first recipient this morning. Woo! So yay. Congratulations on that. And I have one more giveaway in just a moment. Want to see with the conversation that we've had, yes, yay, right? And I know you'll love this book. This is actually, I think this would be a really good book in light of conversations we've had. So I think you will really, really, really love that book. Sarah, good morning. Welcome. And so I'm adding you into the bowl now for the next drawing. Yes, applause, everybody. Applause, applause. So, question. So we've got a couple topics that have come up in terms of things you guys want to move into space moving forward. And some of that is around transitioning from corporate. What are some of the things to consider? How do you make the decision? How do you know when's the right time? Bringing in some guests, having a little Mr. Rogers neighborhood kind of action, and having some people that we can riff off of, and bringing them into Camp Candy to have some conversations and do some things from there. We talked about how what leveraged income is, talking about residual and passive income, and ways to build your golden goose. So we're going to spend some time on some of these morning calls, digging into that, and then just talking about major transition and change in our life. And how do you cope with that? How do you deal with that? What are some of the tools and resources that you need? So other things, any other questions? Like I said, this is your open forum. If not, I'm going to start going through our next 20, because with the week of 100, we have 100 random trivia facts, random, useless, nobody cares, but they make me laugh. So we are going to do, I'm going to continue. I did 20 yesterday. I'm going to do the next 20 of useless trivia for today. So if there are further questions or thoughts, please drop them into the group. I'm going to go through the next 20, and then we're going to do one more drawing, which this one is actually for one of my programs. So you'll want to stay on board. And I have a special deal for all of you, those of you that do not win this program, for the Labor Day weekend. I have a really special deal for you to get access to it for like crazy dirt cheap. So anyway, here are the next 20 for our week of 100 random facts that mean nothing. The largest snowflake on record was 15 inches wide. Do you realize how big that is? That's like, I can't even show you on the screen. That's like this big. 15 inches wide, a snowflake. That's just crazy to me. Okay, this one I want y'all to know, and I already knew this, but I want you to realize what you're putting in your body when you eat this crap. Doritos, you know, the cheese, the triangle chip. Doritos are flammable and are often used for kindling. I want you to think about that. That is what you're putting into your body. Ooh, Martha, I love that topic. Building and sustaining momentum in personal development. I love that. Going to write that one down. Building and sustaining momentum. Excellent. In PD, personal development. Awesome. Great topic. Yes, we can do a lot to talk about how to maintain and sustain, right? So, but think about that. So going back to, so Martha, thank you so much to add that to the list. Doritos are flammable, people. They're flammable. They are used for kindling. Seriously, think about that. Do you know that in Switzerland, it's illegal to only own one guinea pig? They are animals that need to be, they are herd animals. And so in Switzerland, it is illegal if you only own one guinea pig. You must own at least two. Otherwise, you can actually be fined if they find out you only have one. Isn't that crazy? I love Herbie. Don't hate on my Cool Ranch Doritos. Ha ha ha. Yum Doritos, hence the heartburn. Yep, absolutely, right? You got to think sometimes some of the things that we put in. Oh, wait till you get into one of them. I think, is this on today's? No. The one I'm going to share tomorrow, when it's one of those things that seems to be a favorite of people's, when you realize what's really in it, you might stop eating it. I'm just saying. Male students at Brigham Young University in Utah need special permission to grow a beard. This is like crazy stuff. Sometimes I wonder what century we live in, right? If you die alone in the Netherlands, someone will write you a poem and recite it at your funeral. Isn't that sweet? That's one of the reasons why the Netherlands is such a great country, happy country. Beauty and the Beast. Okay, here's one that just blew my mind. Did you know that Beauty and the Beast was written to help girls accept arranged marriages? That is crazy to me. That movie, the play was actually done, the story was to help girls accept arranged marriages. That's just insane. Hitler's nephew wrote an essay defaming the dictator, then moved to the U.S. and served in the Navy to fight his uncle. Now that's some serious using your voice and standing up what you say. I mean, that's just crazy. Okay, this one's hilarious. Well, no, the first one before that. Brunch was originally invented to cure hangovers. So if you ever wondered where brunch came from, it actually was created and designed as a way to help people take the hair off the dog, right? Space, and I want to know who actually knows this. Space smells like seared steak. So apparently when you go out into outer space, if you decide to be an astronaut, space smells like seared steak. I think that's kind of gross, just saying. The unicorn is the national animal for Scotland. Bees, bees, bzz, bees sometimes sting other bees. That's just mean. Let's see. Kids ask over 300 questions a day. Most of you parents would probably say that is absolutely true. Let's see. E, the letter E, starts with egg. E is the most common letter and appears in 11% of all English words. Again, these are just random useless trivia that I just found hilarious, and I wanted to find my top 100 of useless trivia. Water makes different pouring sounds depending on its temperature. I didn't really think about that until I read that, and then I was like, oh no, really cold water sounds very different than really hot water when you pour it in a glass. And same with tepid water, right? And so think about that, very different. Koalas have fingerprints. Did you know that? Koala bears, they actually have, yeah, right? I'm with you, Yvette. I wonder who was the first one to decide that space smelled like seared steak. Isn't that just crazy? And yes, Sarah, I agree with you. My mom would tell you that I probably asked 300 questions before breakfast. I was the why kid, if ever. So yeah, I think most of you parents are like, put a factor of 10 on that, right? With the questions that your kids ask. Humans are just one of estimated 8.7 million species on the earth. Think about that. Think about the damage we do as one species when we are only one of 8.7 million species on this earth. That just blows my mind. Sea lions can dance to a beat. Have you ever gone to like an aquarium or gone to like SeaWorld or whatever, and you watch the sea lions? They can actually move and dance and groove to a beat. I think that's funny. Oh, by the way, guess what? Okay, so here's a little trivia question. Do you know what can move faster than a cheetah? I'm gonna give you a minute to ask that, and I'm gonna get ready for our next drawing because we only have 2 more on our 20 for our random facts this week. But before I give you the random fact, I want you to see if you can tell me something you think that's faster than a cheetah. And that's all I'm gonna give you. Let's see what you got. What do you think is faster than a cheetah? All right. While you're thinking of that one, I'll give you the last trivia question. Do you know that the cast of the Friends show, my favorite show, you all know I reference it way too much, still earns around $20 million a year for that show because of all the reruns and everything else. Tina with wind. Wow, that's some fast wind. We're talking like 100 miles an hour here, people. But yes, and there are some places where the wind. A gazelle. I think the cheetah's faster than a gazelle. I will tell you that it's not an animal that I'm looking at. Blowing flaming Doritos. That's awesome, Paul. Okay, there's one of my funniest moments. Blowing flaming Doritos out of your mouth. That's hilarious. Light. Yes, I would say the speed of light is faster. Herbie's hand going for the last bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Actually, did you know that you can sneeze faster than a cheetah can run? Your sneeze can clock in at 100 miles an hour. That's crazy. Isn't that? I love that, Yvette. Sneeze. Yes, you can sneeze faster than a cheetah can run. I'm like, holy cow. Although I have actually, I wonder, sometimes you ever get those really, really, really big sneezes? Because, by the way, you can't keep your eyes open when you sneeze either. And so I've always wondered, what if you have one of those like crazy sneezing fits? Has anyone ever gotten in a car accident because of a sneeze? It's random stuff that I think about. This is just like random. Yes, Yvette got it. Sneeze. I love that. Think about if anyone's ever like caused a car crash because of one of those, like, you know what happens when you get those really big sneezes, your eyes water, they close, you're like on a fit for like 3 or 4 times. I just wonder if anyone's ever gotten in a car accident because of sneezing in their car. Just random ass stuff that I think, So anyway, that's awesome. All right, drum roll. Drum roll. All right, so Here is the last drawing today, and this is for access. You will actually get my entire, I sneeze 6 to 7 times normally. Very scary when driving. Yeah, I totally agree. Good morning, Ruben. I totally agree, Carol. It can be really scary when those sneezing fits kick in. Yeah, sometimes I sneeze so hard I have to jump. Sometimes I snuzzed. Is that a word? Snuzzed. Sneeze so hard that it feels like my eyes water, and I'm like, whoa. And like I said, I just wonder. I wonder what the statistics are for car accidents. I mean, how do you answer the officer? I'm sorry, I got on a sneezing fit, right? But it happens because sometimes it's just like that space of things you can't control, right? And so I wonder sometimes what the statistics are for things like that. All right. So here is the next giveaway for today. And today what this one is I am giving away access for free. You get the whole program. You get my entire Ideal Calendar system. So you will get access after this call. You just need to send me your email. I will put you in there and you will get full access to the Yes Ideal Calendar system so that you can start creating some of the disciplines, some of the habits, your bookends, so that your calendar can start working for you instead of you working so hard for your calendar. And it's a great resource, great tool. It's a lot of what I work with one-on-one clients, how to really manage their focus. You get the entire program. So whoever's name I draw out of here gets that as a giveaway. I also want to let you know if you do not win it, because I'm going to be giving different things away every day. So this is the only time I'm giving this one away this week. For the Labor Day weekend, and this will go through Monday, and I will post the link to the program. For those of you that have been wanting access to the program, I am actually going to be gifting $200 off the program so that you can get the entire training for $97 through Monday for Labor Day. You will use the code 100th. So 100TH, I will put that in the thread. But that is my gift for all of you as a 100th anniversary present. You can access that whole program, which is pretty freaking awesome. For just $97, you'll get $200 off of that. So again, just making it possible for you guys to have what you need, tools and resources. And dun, 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 that being said, who is the winner? Who's getting it for free? Let's see, who do I got here? Tanisha, you, if you are still on the call, you are getting it for free, my friend. So see, I always like to make sure you see I pulled the name. I'm not just making this up. So Tanisha, you will get access to the Yes Ideal Calendar program. Woohoo! So more congratulations, more cheers, and tomorrow more giveaways, more fun, more trivia, and I'll be bringing in some topics and some other things as well. If you have any other questions or things that you would like to explore, whether it be further questions for me or ideas for topics or things, please shoot me an email, bring them tomorrow, put them on the thread like Peggy did last night. I will make sure that we address those first thing, and then we will jump into some more fun and celebration. Like I said, this week's just our time to have a little fun, play a little bit, be a little punchy, and just have some all-around fun and celebration. So again, thank you all for joining me every morning. So excited. 101, we're already on our way to the next 100, right? So yay, applause everyone. Thank you for bearing with me with some technology and power issues this morning. So glad my power is back on. My fans are going again, so it feels really good in here. And with that, I will see you all tomorrow. I will put in those links. I will put in the ways that you can access if you are interested in that program. Again, that $200 off is through Labor Day, so it is a 100th anniversary special as well as a Labor Day special. Want to make sure that you have that. Thank you for those of you that joined on for the first time or joining us for the first time in a while. And make it a terrific, fantastic, phenomenal Tuesday, everyone. And I will see you all tomorrow. Love you. Bye.